Hi friends, welcome back to Procrasti-Knitter podcast. My name is Jane, I use she, her pronouns, and today we will talk about yarn like every day. Today for me is October 5th. Who knows what day it is for you. I have quite a bit of progress and updates to share, so yeah, you have things to look forward to. I think, let me gather the materials. Okay, so I don't quite remember where I was at for the Swiss socks, but they are done. They haven't been washed or blocked, but they're completed. They're done. Let me get the soft blocker so you can see. Okay, actually I think I did show you because I think I remember mentioning that they're like matching. But here it is. It's a self-striping sock. I think this is a Regia yarn if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but I got this at a yarn shop in Switzerland, and yeah, I love the colorway. I think it's really pretty, and yeah. Those are my first finished objects. And my second finished object is another pair of socks. So, ta-da! These are the stripy socks. I've been working on them for a while. I haven't said this in a while, but my Ravelry page is always linked below the projects page. I don't have that many projects, so I think it's pretty easy to dig through, but once I have more, I'll start linking projects to their specific page, but right now my general project page is on there. So this is the first of the stripy sock that I made. I didn't really think through like how I would adjust the striping, so this is what it ended up as. It's a little bit wonky, but not too bad. And then I decided to think through it a little bit more for the second one. So I wish I had started with like little, and then like increased and decreased again. I think that would have made it look a bit more interesting, but this is what the other one looks like. Yeah, I mean, overall I enjoyed it. I wouldn't make a pair like this again. I don't think the striping design I did was particularly cool. It's like it's all right. But yeah, again, I wouldn't make it again. But I do like the 3x1 cuff that I did. So that's these. So that's my second pair off the needles. And then most excitingly, I have gotten my shawl off the needles. It's been washed and blocked, so I am excited to share with you what it looks like. Okay, here it is. I haven't snipped the ends, but maybe I'll take some time and do that today. All folded up, all nice. Oh my gosh. Now I really want to like do a vacation in the woods somewhere so I can like wrap up in this. But it is done. It is completed. So this is the end. You can see it messed up right there. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see. It's kind of hard to see what this looks like in full. Yeah. So you could wear it like this, very simple. You know, if there was like a shawl pin, we could do something like that. It could be worn like more scarf-like, like just one over the shoulder. This is a pretty cute look. We could like go like this. This is a pretty cute look. Let's see what other ways. I don't know, I'm not a big shawl person, so I'm not quite sure how to wear them. Oh, is this what I was thinking? Oh, I see. Like, I could wear it like this. So yeah, I really love the fabric of it. It's a little bit itchy, but as I said, nothing too harsh for me personally. But again, I haven't, oh, I guess I could wear it like this. I haven't worn it extensively, so I also don't know, but I really love it. All the stitches, really, what's it called? Like, they bloomed, I guess, and look really nice and even, and the drape of the fabric is really, really great. So this is my shawl, and this is the Tokyo shawl. It's a pattern by Marianne Isager, I don't know how to say her name or the brand, and it came in a kit. This is the Thyme colorway. I'm not sure if you're able to find it online or at a local yarn shop. I got mine at a local yarn shop, and it was like the owner like had placed an order with the kit. But yeah, really nice and beautiful. It's actually really hot today, but it's fine. I can wear this for the sake of the finished object. I still have quite a bit of yarn left over from this project, so with I believe four or six of these. Pretty sure it was 4 of these, and I have most of one left. I have a lot, like this is the lowest amount I have left of a colorway. Some I have so much of, like look at this guy. So yeah, this could definitely go into color work, like mitts maybe, because I don't know if I'd want a sweater. Maybe. I don't know. I'm really excited. It's finally done, and it feels really good to have this off the needles. Yeah, that's about it in terms of this shawl. Let me know what you think. It's my very, very first shawl. I've never knit a shawl before. I've never knit a shawl before, and I think this one turned out really well. It took a lot of time. It's also a fingering weight shawl, and I think most shawls are, but yeah, it was a labor of love, but I really appreciated William getting this for me, and it was very like impulse buy. It wasn't a pattern I had been eyeing for a long time. I just saw it, and the colors, I mean, are like so awesome. I love these colors. So that's my shawl. I think that was my last, yes, that was my last finished object. And now I have some whips to share. An update on an old whip and then a new whip. So an old whip that I have is currently in this bag, given to me by William's mom. And it is this. My Escher Socks. So last time you had seen these, which would probably have been like 5 months ago. Yeah, I mean, potentially 6 months ago. No, I think probably 4 or 5 months ago. Is this sock. And these are Escher Socks by Summerlee Knits, Summerlee Design Co. And it's a colorwork pattern. This is what the inside is looking like. It was a kit from knitstars that William's mom purchased for me, and these are the colors it came with. I love working with this yarn. I think it's really, really awesome, really nice to work with. So this is, for a while I actually made a whole lot of progress, but it's definitely still a much slower knit than a vanilla sock, as you can imagine. This is a shadow wrap heel. It's my first shadow wrap heel. I followed Earth Tone Girl's tutorial on YouTube, and I can't remember if it's different than the short row heel that I did. I think I did a wrap and turn heel oh, I wore these today actually, so they look a little, but maybe it's the same. Well, the stitches across are, maybe they're the same. I have no clue. Well, it's some sort of short row heel, and I mean, I think it turned out really well. I don't have complaints about either. I think this one is supposed to be a bit deeper than this one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was, you know, pretty straightforward tutorial. I think I did it right. I don't know, but this is my heel. The pattern calls for an afterthought heel, but I don't have good experience with that. I don't like how they fit me. I hate the way they look. So I subbed in my own heel, and I think it is fine. I put my foot through, and it worked out great. So this is my Escher sock progress. I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really good. So there you go. And I'll move the stitch marker. The color work is coming a little easier to me now, which is good. And the pattern was coming a bit easier to me as well, but I kind of took a break from it to finish this up, and then I started new socks, and then I'm also about to start a new project. So we'll see how much work. It just takes a lot of brain power to do this, and I have to be in the mood, or I have to just like tell myself to start, and then once I start, it's pretty enjoyable, but just like the anticipation of it is a lot. So those, that is my first whip, and my second whip is a new whip, a new cast on since last episode. And I am knitting socks. They're socks from this yarn, which is Cascade Heritage Wave, and it's not working out the way I thought it would at all. So I might have to put a yarn cozy on this because it's a really loose ball right now. But let's see. See, when you see it like this, I just thought there would be more. It's a gradient. It's a very subtle gradient. I thought it'd be less subtle, but it's really subtle. So let me show you. And then like all of a sudden there's this harsh line. Like I feel like here there wasn't a harsh line. It blended in. And then for some reason here it just, so I don't really know what's up with that, but that also bothers me a tiny bit. Like that's really harsh. Well, anywho, these are my new socks. I did 1x1 rib because I'm kind of liking the way that looks lately. Something new with these socks is I'm knitting them on my new circulars. So these are knit on US size 0 instead of US 1. So size 0 is 2.25. Oh no, 2. They're 2mm needles, and size 1 is 2.25, which is what I usually knit. But I felt like my gauge, like especially for this guy, I just felt like my gauge was a bit too big. I wanted it to be a bit tighter. So I went down, and also this yarn is a light fingering. So I thought that would be a good adjustment in that regard as well. So this is the current sock. My vanilla sock knitting. Take it to class, and that's pretty much my easy knitting for lectures and stuff. So yep, and that's it. That's all I've been working on. So, you know, actually the past couple days I've been pretty busy, not knitting too much. I guess this is a new cast on, but the ombre, or like the gradient, is a little disappointing to me, so I was itching to cast something else on, and I decided to wind up my yarn, and this is wound like way too tightly, but I don't want to deal with a winding mohair, so it's gonna stay this way. But this is English Rose colorway, both Malabrigo. This is Malabrigo Mohair, and this is Malabrigo mechita. It's a single ply yarn, and they're dyed in the same colorway. And I have 2 hanks, 2 100-gram skeins hanks, and then I think 150 grams of this. Originally, this was my birthday yarn, if you remember. Michelle, if you're watching, I bought this, like the 2 hanks of this, from your Christmas present gift card, and then this I treated myself at a local yarn shop in I think it's Newport in Orange County. Oh my gosh. Okay, so originally they were going to be the Elton by Joji Locatelli, and it was going to be the Elton cardigan, and then I realized I didn't want to knit a cardigan, so then it was going to be the Elton pullover. But then I kind of just, the Elton pullover, if you don't know, is a striped pullover. So like, let's say it's like 5 rows. I don't know if that's true. I didn't buy the patterns. Let's say it's like 5 rows of this, and then it's 5 rows of this, then 5 rows of this, and then this. So then it has, you know, that, you know, effect. Knit with the same needle, so it's very, you know, open and airy. And just the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I don't think I would wear that. So then the past while, I've been trying to scramble and figure out a pattern. Until late last night, I thought I was gonna do, what is it called? I thought I was gonna do something by nelsknits. It's a free pattern. She has a tutorial on YouTube. Let me pull it up for you. I thought I was gonna do that because I do like how that looks, but I hate following video tutorials, especially for not part of a pattern, but the entire pattern. To my knowledge, I didn't look very hard, but I didn't see the pattern instructions written out in text in any way, so then I'd have to keep referencing the video or have to transcribe it myself, and I just didn't feel like doing that. Okay, it's called the Boatneck top by nelsknits. Let's see if I can show you. There you go. and it looks really cute, but yeah, the video aspect of it I didn't love, but yeah, was really craving like a light sweater, a long t-shirt, if you will, kind of vibe. So I was looking for something like that. I was gonna make the Vex, but I like looked at more photo. I really only like 2 people's projects for the Vex, so I was a little bit iffy about that. So I ended up not deciding to do that, and I really wanted to work with this yarn. So then I just went ahead and wound it up, and then I made a gauge swatch, just mindlessly, not really having a particular pattern in mind, but just so I could see what the yarn looked like, and then I just kind of guessed a needle size. So I wasn't swatching for a pattern, so I wasn't trying a particular needle or anything. So I just looked for a needle size that I thought would work, and then I went ahead and swatched it, and it's really soft. I am not one to usually knit with a mohair. My first mohair experience was when I was very early into knitting, and I still have the cowl, and I actually, since doing this, I'm actually thinking of frogging the cowl and making something else with the yarn, because it's really great yarn. It was a Miss Babs kit, and yeah, so I might actually rip that one out and then make something else. But where was I saying? So that was my first mohair experience. That cowl, I would say, is a bit itchy for me, so I don't wear it very often. And I also think a cowl usually is pretty loose on the neck, or that one was. I knew nothing about size or gauge or anything. I've just really went for it. So yeah, it's not a knit I wear very often. So I want to redo it. And so that was my first experience. It's something that goes on the neck, and I felt like right here, right? So I felt like it looked really pretty, and it felt soft when I touched it with my hands, but as a wearable, it wasn't great for me, my personal preference. And then my second mohair experience was with a webs brand mohair, and that was my cardigan number 7, I believe, the purple one. And that mohair was also very itchy. I also did a thing where people on YouTube were kind of talking about pairing a mohair with with another strand of yarn that was not exactly the shade, but a shade lighter or a shade darker, or a couple shades lighter or darker, to have an inner glow effect or something. I don't know. It got stuck in my brain, and I kind of thought oh, that's so interesting. So I ended up ordering a very light purple yarn and a dark purple mohair. So it's fine. The sweater's fine, or the cardigan's fine, but it's pretty itchy. It's pretty thick. It's bulky plus weight, or something, or maybe just bulky weight yarn. So it was definitely one of my earlier knits. I'm really proud of it. But yeah, and I don't know, and that mohair was very itchy as well, so I really thought I was very sensitive to mohair. And even though the halo looks nice, it's obviously way more expensive to add mohair into a garment, so I never really thought to use mohair again. I was kind of I don't really need mohair. And then since I started working on this shawl, it's held, one strand of alpaca, 100% alpaca, is held throughout, and it's so soft. So I was well, in the future, if I wanted a halo, I'd probably go for alpaca, because I think that suits me and my sensitivities way more. So I didn't really think about mohair again until I went to that yarn shop in Orange County and I saw the mohair, and I didn't even know Malabrigo had mohair because Webs doesn't sell it, so I guess I just wasn't aware. And yeah, I'd really only known about like their sock yarn, and then William's mom had gotten me a few like heavier weight yarns, so I didn't even stop to think that they might have a mohair. I don't know why, but I saw the mohair and I was like, wow, this is really pretty, what could I do? I looked at my Ravelry, you know, Q favorites, whatever, and I saw the Elton and I was like, oh, this would be so cute as an Elton, which is where I got that idea, which is why I bought the mohair. So I had intended to do it for that, and in the Elton, I could be wrong, but there's definitely, okay, I could be wrong, but I think it's either the strand of the fingering weight yarn and the mohair are never held together, from what I understand, but I could be wrong again. So you kind of, the mohair was like an essential part of it. You couldn't omit the mohair because for half the sweater, the mohair was a standalone item. So I got the mohair, and then and then I decided I didn't want to do the Elton anymore. Oh my god, this story is so long, I'm so sorry. Which is why I swatched this, because I was like, well, let's see how they play together, and what kind of pattern should I look for? Should I just look for a pattern that will just use the mechita, or something that combines the two, or should I look for another pattern that does like an alternating situation again? So this is my gauge swatch. I usually don't gauge swatch, but you know, this is expensive yarn, so I thought I should. Oh, and my other mohair experience was Wool and the Gang mohair, which I think I liked, but that cardigan just ended up being really big. That's another project I want to revisit. But yeah, this mohair is so soft. It is so soft. I almost can't believe how soft. Because of my past experience, I didn't really think mohair could be soft like this, but it is really, really soft. And it just looks beautiful in the swatch. So this is the mohair and the mechita combined. This is the mechita on its own, this is the mohair on its own, and this is it combined again, but on a bigger needle size. I don't know if people have seen this before, but this is a trick I picked up a long time ago, but I've never done because I don't gauge a swatch. But you basically, an easy way to remember what size needle you use, you can knit the number into your swatch. So for example, there are 7 purl bumps here, indicating that this section was knit with US size 7 needles, and there are 8 purl bumps here, indicating that this top section was knit in US 8. So yeah, I thought, you know, maybe I wanted like a looser gauge for this project, and I knew I was working with limited yarn, so I was like, well, let's see what it looks like at a bigger gauge. And I actually really think I prefer the smaller gauge. It's not a tight gauge by any means, but it's definitely a bit more tight and tidy than the US 8 gauge. And the good news is, so oh my gosh, the longest story ever. If you know me in real life, you know I'm like a terrible storyteller because I jump all over the place. And I tell things exactly as I think them or as I discover them, and not necessarily the best way a story should be told. Anyways, bear with me. Yes, so I was going to do that Boatneck top by nelsknits, and but I had my qualms because of the video tutorial, and then I kept looking, and then I happened to see the thumbnail of High Fiber Knits video where she had a Boatneck top, like long sleeve t-shirt vibe. I click it and I see it's blouse number 1. I don't follow my favorite things knitwear, and I actually don't get too much knitting content in terms of like patterns on my For You page, or I don't really, on Instagram, like I don't know, I don't really pay attention too much to what patterns are out there, mainly because I'm a sock knitter. But yeah, that really caught my eye. I went to look at it and I was like, wow, this is really nice. I've been looking at you know, different people's like projects, and I think I'm happy with like the construction, the finished product, what it looks like. So I think I'm sure that this yarn will be blouse number 1. And I am planning on holding it with the Mohair. So I think if I run out, I'll just buy more. Famous last words. But yeah, I mean, I really like the fabric. I really love how this looks. And what's even better is, so I knit this without, you know, a pattern in my, whatever. But I measured, and the gauge hits gauge exactly for blouse number 1, for needle size 7, US 7. So I'm pretty much good to go. I'm probably gonna buy the pattern today or sometime in the next like few days and get that started. I'm really excited. So this will be my next cast on. My eyes are so spicy. What's going on? This will be my next pattern, and I'm really excited. That probably took me like 15 minutes to explain. I'm sorry. That's pretty much it in terms of fiber stuff. So thank you for sticking around and watching if you're here. Let me know, you know, what you think of my projects. Oh my gosh. And feel free to share what you're working on and anything exciting in your life. Now I'm going to talk about things I've been reading and watching. Oh my god, I'm sorry about my eyes. Reading on my Kindle, I'm still reading Murder in the Irish Village, but I'm almost done. And yeah, my goal is actually to finish it this weekend. That's my self-care goal. So we'll see. And what else? We finished Ashoka. I mean, it kind of went the way I expected in terms of it being pretty mediocre, but you know, it's still fun. We finished Bad Batch, which was really good, and we're really excited for the next season. We started watching One Piece, the live action, and I'm not like a huge fan, if I'm honest, a bit too silly for me. What else? I think that's kind of it. We were watching Ahsoka and we finished, so I don't know. Oh, we watched The Little Mermaid, the live action. I mean, it was pretty silly, but I don't have a huge attachment to like the original, and I think the new songs they added were pretty bad. I think the renditions of like the old songs, some of them were a miss, but you know, overall it was like an enjoyable Disney movie. I wouldn't have paid money to see it in theaters, but it was still like a fun viewing experience. Yeah. What else? That's it. I started Love is Blind season 5. How do we feel about Love is Blind season 5, everyone? I think it's like, in some ways it's more crazy, but in other ways it's more boring because there's like less couples, so there's less like drama, and a lot of episodes are feeling really dragged out. Yeah, I don't know, but I've been watching it with my housemates, so that's been like a fun ritual that we have. Yeah. I started selling the OC, which is like a real estate reality TV show about Orange County, which is where my parents live, but you know, we do not live in the part of the OC where they're having business. Yeah, in case you're unfamiliar with, you know, California demographics or OC demographics, the Orange County is pretty big and very diverse in all sense of the word. It's very diverse culturally, ethnically, and as well as socioeconomically, and politically. So it's very, very diverse, and yeah, there's lots of different pockets of the OC, and yeah, we live in the Vietnamese part of the OC, so that's where we live. But the selling the OC is like Newport, Laguna. That's where the big houses are, so that's where it's set. And yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. It's like mindless TV, and it's a fun time. What else can I say? I think that's all for media and things I've been reading and watching. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm excited to talk to you today, and I'm really happy with all the progress that I've been making. I'm excited to cast on blouse number 1. I went on that whole rant about how I don't do social media. That was because what I meant to like conclude that thought with is it's a new pattern. And I thought I had no, and that's why I didn't think of it, because I'm pretty familiar with like her cardigans and sweaters. I wasn't familiar with blouse number 1, but it's a newer pattern. So I'm excited to give it a go and cast it on, and yeah, hopefully you'll see what it looks like later. But again, the mohair is so soft. I really, really recommend it. I'm really loving it. So yeah. Okay, alright, that's enough chatting. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me at _. The link will be below as well. It's a private account, so if your handle is not something knitting related, or your bio isn't something knitting related, I'll probably reject you. That said, if you are a knitting person and your profile just doesn't reflect that in any way, go ahead and send me a message and say like, hey, I watched your podcast, like wanted to give you a follow, and I'll accept you. But yeah, I'm a professional now, and my knitting account is actually a personal account that I usually post like nature or food and knitting, so if you're interested in that kind of thing. And then if you would just like to stick around on YouTube and you're not subscribed, please subscribe and like the video if you're able to, or you want to show your support. And I appreciate you, and I will talk to you in the next podcast episode. Bye!